If you all want to grill Max about stuff he said while high, now would be a great time. I remember someone saying they wanted to talk about that.
How much does he actually remember?
Let me find out.
Maximilian Julianus Regalis Vulgarian blah blah blah.
What? One of those was my name.
Shh.
So you seem a lot more lucid.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now, thank you.
You gotta stop saying that. That's... It's fine.
Stop saying what?
Stop thanking me. I didn't do... It's fine.
You fixed my leg.
And your abdomen. It's fine.
And my guts. It's a huge deal.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird when you say it. It's weird when you say it, actually.
Do you remember anything you said, Max?
His face goes pale, and his eyes go wide as I roll a nat 20 for his intelligence check to remember.
Oh.
And he just whispers, "Oh no."
You remember everything, don't you?
You remember me.
He looks at each of you in sheer horror, and he just says, I am
A very clever wolfman. We heard it.
so sorry.
Why are you apologizing for saying things you should have said aloud without being high?
I just... Oh my god. And he buries his face in his hands and he says, "Oh, I can't believe it." Why?
You really can't hold your opium, can you?
I typically avoid it. This is my first time.
Well...
Can you? Do you regularly fucking get high and lose your mind?
No, winners don't do drugs.
I've done opium time or two.
Actually, her real response is, no, the last time I got high, we went into a collective shared hallucination about Alviva's backstory.
Oh, that's true, we did.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, really? What was that all about?"
Oh, you know.
Trauma.
Yeah. Paternal figure, attempted to instill her with humanity. It worked. Bondar's former captain wanted to use Alviva as a living weapon. You know, the usual.
So, you realize that Max was trying to deflect the conversation onto something else, and now he looks horrified and looks like he regrets it 1000%.
Yeah, so you were absolutely gonna kiss Win in exchange for crackers.
And I didn't want it.
And he says, "I didn't, did I? Did I not?"
You did not. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the gods. I am so sorry.
The part about you and Artie cuddling was real, though.
That was 100% real. Do you have anything to say to me?
You cried in each other's arms.
He thinks for a moment and says, "Yes. Why did you rub sweat on me? That's so gross."
You what?
Artie's just continuously cackling.
What did you do?
Well, it was a 50-50 chance he would remember.
Rub sweat on him?
Yes.
Why?
Why?
Max, how many things have you done to me? In my sleep?
Not...
Or near my sleep? Or when we were camping? Or when I was drunk? Or when you were supposed to be taking care of me when I was first introduced to the ship over at Pirate Base shit?
Nothing.
Liar, liar, your pants are going to be on fire.
You did say you pretended to be a ghost and got a bunch of his money, though.
Okay, that was one time.
It does feel like the kind of grift that only works once.
He's a smart man. He'd figure it out right away. But I am sorry about the ghost thing, Artie.
Mm-hmm.
And?
I believe it when I see it.
You can't see it. It's not real. It wasn't a real ghost.
And what? When?
And, Max, anything else you'd like to say?
Max looks around, doesn't seem to get it, and he says, "I don't know what you want me to apologize for. Clearly something."
I don't want you to apologize for anything. I'm not saying an apology. I'm saying perhaps we could be a little bit more forward with our true emotions from here on out, so long as we're in private.
Jill blinks. When? What are you getting at?
I'm getting to the fact that when he was high on opium, he admitted that he liked us, and he was apologizing for certain things, and he called Artie his best friend, he called you beautiful. I feel like those things could be said aloud more often.
Jill looks out the window.
I mean, Artie is my best friend, and Jill is beautiful. I don't know. This isn't a lie or anything.
That's correct. Can you say them more often?
Okay.
Can you maybe not be a huge fucking asshole?
Look, I am still so sorry about that sending. I feel I fucked up. And I know I've said, did he actually say sorry for it before? For the sending?
I don't think he did.
If he did, it was very rushed and not really I am supposed to say sorry here, so. But it was also for your own good.
Right. Well, in that case, yeah, he would say, look, I know, I might have apologized for that sending, but I thought I was doing the right thing at the time, and clearly I wasn't, and that's on me. He kind of looks down at the floor, and by that, mostly your knees, because it's a very cramped space.
Juliana has folded her arms and is studiously scowling out the window.
And he says, look, I shouldn't have done that, and I shouldn't have told you all to go away, and that was wrong, and I'm sorry.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, no worries. But his eyes are on Jill, who is clearly not pleased with it. Then he looks down and says, anyway, and Artie, that sending was technically directed at you, so I'm sorry for that as well.
And?
Sorry, what do you want an apology for?
All the shit you said on the ship? All the whining and bitching and moaning and thinking only of yourself.
He looks a little confused and says, I don't understand. I mean, Wynn told me that you'd all been through some stuff. Is that what this is about?
Through some stuff. You take things so casually, you know that?
Yes, I do.
You can see Artie, clenching his jaw and gritting his teeth.
Max is gonna do a little thing. Okay. Max looked like he's thinking hard. And thankfully, rolled decent on his insight. And then it's like, Arturos, if this is about thinking you didn't go through as much, then for that I am sorry too. I didn't realize you were so upset about it.
Artie just rubs his temple. Max, it isn't about anyone suffering more or less. It's the fact that you decided to hurt us instead of, I don't know, asking for help, talking to us.
I didn't know that's what you... But I thought you were saying, we've been over this. I already said I was wrong for pushing you away instead of asking for help.
Maybe you've admitted that you are wrong, but I don't know that you've said and meant an apology.
From the window, still looking out, Jill chimes in with, remorse generally includes showing a change in behavior.
And Max says, then I guess we're just gonna have to take some time because I don't think there's anything else I can do right now.
I guess so. And then Artie just turns towards the window.
Leaving Wynn facing forward.
Wynn just kind of shrugs.
Do you want to punish me for something, or...?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
The next few hours pass in silence. I think it's pretty late by this point. It's dark outside, and as the 3 hours progress, the carriage is comfortable enough that if you want, you can all just fall asleep and wake up when we get there.
I think Wynn gets 2 people dozing on her shoulders.
Yeah, Wynn is wide awake since elves don't sleep, so she's just kind of sitting there kind of placidly looking out the window while 2 people sleep on her shoulders.
You know, I imagine there's a lot of... It's interesting to think about a species that doesn't sleep. Do they just get really, really good at being alone with their feelings when around other species that do sleep?
You know, that would explain a lot about Wynn being mom of the group and making everybody talk about their emotions.
You really gotta get, more hobbies you can take on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you bring your crocheting with you?
She has her crochet in her bag, she has her harmonica, but you can't do that when people are sleeping.
There's so much introspection going on.
She probably writes a little.
Max also dozes off, and he doesn't fall asleep on Sybil's shoulder because he towers over her.
Right, and she's short for a Vidoni.
Yeah, she's like, what was it, 5'10" or so? 5'9"? She's a very short woman. So Max doesn't fall asleep on her, he falls asleep against the window. And Sybil watches you for a minute, Win, and then actually holds out her hand as if to ask for the book and the pencil.
Win hands both book and pencil over.
Sybil writes something down and hands it back to you. And when you, she flicks to a blank page, probably near the back somewhere, and writes something down, and it just says, "How are you holding up?"
Win replies, she replies by writing, but she writes back, "Pretty well, honestly, think I'm holding up better than the others? Haven't really given it too much thought because I feel fine, but might be one of those things where it will hit me later. Question mark?" And hands it back to Sybil.
Sybil reads it, nods, and says, "You're the oldest of the group by a long shot, aren't you?"
She nods her head, says, "I think about 250 years at the minimum."
This must have a very different impact on you than on them.
She nods slowly to that and then says, "Yeah, they're younger, so they're not as used to a bunch of stuff, or just rolling with things, really."
Sybil writes back, "Have you lost something as big a deal as your ship before? Or even more?"
She considers that question and then she writes back and then says, "A few things. Maybe not the same as the ship, but that feels more..." She pauses a moment in her writing and even just adds a ... for emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
And then says, "It's a material thing. We can find another one." And then she hands that back.
Sybil reads it and writes back, "Yeah, I guess the memories you had in it, though, do you mourn them?"
And she writes back, "Why? They're in my head."
She writes back, "You must have a pretty good memory then. Lucky. I don't remember my first girlfriend's face."
She considers that for a moment. "I think you have a good point. I can't remember my grandmother's voice, but I can remember when she'd make all of us cookies, or when Mom would send us over to her to be with her, and just mostly so she could get the house clean because we were being too loud and obnoxious. And I feel like the emotion in that is what matters to me more. Even if I can't remember the exact outline of the grain or anything, and I've lost a lot of my makeup, to me that's something that I can still buy again, but I can remember all the fun times playing cards, or getting hot chocolate, or making Jill blush and panic about something."
It takes a moment for Sybil to read all this, and she writes back, "It is funny making Her Highness blush. She's very susceptible."
She smiles and nods.
She continues, "You're right. The good times were what mattered, and I can at least remember those."
She smiles a little bit at that, and then replies back with, "What happened with the first girlfriend?"
Sybil takes it, freezes, glances at you.
Wynn smiles mysteriously.
She looks a little bit nervous, maybe? It's hard to tell. She pauses and then writes back, "She pushed me out of the path of an arrow."
Wynn softens at that, and then writes back with, "I'm so sorry. My first one just got old." Pauses for a moment, scribbles that out, and then says, I can't even imagine the guilt from feeling that." And hands that back.
She looks like she's trying to read the bits you scribbled out. How well did you scribble them out?
I would say it was a pretty quick scribble, so she can still probably read it.
Writes back, "It seems we've both lost someone we loved."
She nods her head.
I'm sorry you went through that too." And then when she hands it back to you, she briefly takes your hand and gives it a quick squeeze.
Gasp! Wynn kind of smiles at that, writes back with a, "We did, and I think we're both still going strong." And then as she's handing it back, she will let her hand linger for an extra moment.
Scandalous.
Okay. So clarifying, is this intended as flirtiness?
This is definitely flirtiness.
Okay. Let's see. I would like you to roll a flat charisma check to see if Sybil actually figures out what you're doing. Because the hand squeeze wasn't... It seems like it was just support a friend. Now let's see if she picks up on the flirtiness.
17.
I treated it like a stupidity wisdom save, if you will. I rolled negatively on her intelligence. And for the purposes of it making it a contest, she got a 3. So your hand brushes over hers, and again she freezes for a moment, and your dark vision shows in this dim light that she has gone from looking around normally to just kind of staring for a second at you, and her cheeks blush a bit. She reads what you wrote and says, "It was nice talking to you. I need to sleep. I'm very tired." And she hands it back and folds her hands into her laps, and her hands gently rubbing the spot where you brushed her other hand.
Oh my god.
She doesn't seem to realize she's doing it.
Harold. Harold.
Wynn smiles and gives a thumbs up, and then goes back to kind of doodling in her book.
It's a regulation soccer match. Oh, golly.
Annie, did you say Harold?
Harold!
Yeah, Harold,
They're
they're
lesbians!
Oh, Harold, not Herald. Okay, I'm with you now. Yep. The name, not the person who blows a trumpet.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, Wynn, you do vaguely remember her saying her first girlfriend was an elf.
I do remember.
Obviously, that's important information.
I may not remember big things, but I remember flirty things.
A confident lesbian. Who better to guard a chowder head of a prince?
So after a little while, everyone is roused from their slumber except Wynn, who is just hanging out.
She's switched back to crochet, and she's in the middle of what looks to be a sleeve.
You're just making a tube.
I am.
You notice, I think, that the carriage bumps a bit less. It's already pretty comfortable. There's some kind of suspension. This thing is well made. As you look out the window, it's kind of hard to see, but the streets are pretty wide. They're less grimy than they were before, and they're reflecting the moonlight from behind you quite brightly. And as the carriage goes round at weaves through something on the road, at an angle you realize that you're actually quite close to the Imperial Palace now. And you don't even realize it at first, because this crystal that's shining in the moonlight that's reflecting from behind you just looks like a wall. It's that high up, and it's that wide. It's more than a mile wide, and more than 2 miles long. This thing is insane.
The palace is a mile wide?
At its longest points, it's even more than a mile wide. It's even more than 2, probably closer to 3.
No. I reject that. Absolutely not.
You reject that reality and substitute your own?
Yes, because that would be like several warehouses back to back to back to back to back. So it's a lateral castle?
I believe that the castle on the map is true to scale, the one just to the left of the city map.
No, I see the picture, but I reject that entirely.
Okay.
That's just a building that is a mile wide.
Yes. And 2 and a bit miles long.
And then it just keeps going up.
It just keeps going up. This thing is stupid tall.
None of this facility is built to scale.
I'm telling you, fantasy writers have no fucking sense of scale, and the Spelljammer writers are guilty as they come.
Why didn't you change this? You could have just said it was a different number.
I could have, but
why when it's that ridiculous?
This is so stupid. I hate this castle.
Yes, I kept it because it is stupid, and it is the core of Spelljammer, and also it fits with some lore
and
stuff I'm trying to work with.
they're all just going around on horses. God damn it. This is stupid.
Yeah. This setting is a prime example of some of the worst parts of this setting, and I say that with all the love in my heart.
I mean, we create an air bubble that other people, that around the ship stupid, and there's the ship gravity reverses so you can walk on the underside of the ship stupid, and then there's city planning stupid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
whole different kind of stupid. That's not genre stupid. That's just stupid.
This is some moron released the gods from their prison and they raised a castle like this because they have no sense of scale.
I don't know, just keep widening the castle. I'll tell you when to stop.
And they just keep look at them as the what is it?
Parmesan?
What's the fucking restaurant you guys have? Yeah, as the
Olive
Parmesan starts to fill the whole room. At the Olive Garden, yes. As the Parmesan starts to fill the room.
God. Anyway, please continue in this absurd fucking castle. I'm gonna be mad about this building in character forever.
You have every right to be. It's so stupid. I don't actually know how tall it is. Let me check real quick.
Don't, just go. Let's just do a dungeon drag.
About 18 miles tall, maybe 17.
No, that's into the stratosphere.
Yes, it is.
No.
So, you are all woken eventually as the carriage pulls to a stop and the guards open the doors. And it's pretty dark. There are some street lamps around that have been lit. But all in all, it's very quiet. You come to a fairly large building that's quite ornate. There's a lot of grass around here. This is actually the first grass you've seen. And yeah, you're led into what seems like some fairly nice rooms. It feels like an inn, except there's no innkeeper, and there are servants everywhere, and you all get your own room. But you are all bunked down next to each other. The rooms themselves, they're about the same as Max's room from the hospital, so quite ornate, but not so ornate as to be non-functional. They look like just temporary lodgings for people. Do you all just crash down, or do you try and, I don't know, get up to something?
Wynn will take her place in some sort of lobby and let everybody else crash.
Jill's got a thing in the morning. She's not going to be able to sleep, but she's going to get into bed and stare at the ceiling.
I think, Wynn, the room you're taken to is across the hall from the others. It's not in the same line. And in it, instead of a bed, there is a very fine meditation chair.
These people speak my language. And she goes and she promptly, she may be lesbian, but she bisexual sits on the chair. With, her legs folded weirdly. And then she settles down to meditate for 4 hours.
Yeah, she can borrow the bisexual sit. I don't mind. We don't mind. And Jilliana and Artros, do you two pass out for the evening?
Like I said, stare at the ceiling for a long time because there's a thing in the morning, and she'll doze and then wake up and be like, oh my god, I've got a thing in the morning. And then it's 2 a.m. So gotta go back to sleep, doze. Oh my god, I have a thing in the morning. Wake up. It's 3 a.m. She'll keep doing that all night.
Okay. And how do you sleep, Arturos?
Does Artie get his own room, or is he, because he's Jill's bodyguard, he gets, a cot at the end of her bed?
No.
You all get your own room, and you realize there are guards actually posted outside your doors.
Do I sleep or do I be a slut?
I think you're pretty tired from the journey. I would recommend just going to sleep.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Artie just goes to sleep, and because he is Nap Squad King now, he just goes down.
Do you grab a pillow and cuddle it?
Of course. Is that not how people sleep?
Most people put their heads on pillows.
No. You lie on your tummy and you squeeze the pillow up to your chest.
Okay. Jill, I think in the morning, you've mostly passed out, you finally managed to fall asleep. And you're woken by the doors bursting open and 6 young women burst into the room. And they're like, Your Highness, come on, we have to get you ready.
This princess is on parade?
One flings the curtain open and sunlight streams in. And another thrusts a mug of coffee into your hands. And as you're they kind of help you up out of bed very quickly.
Are we under attack? is it bandits? Is it, I can, she starts feeling around for her hammer that she has not had for a couple of days, and that's distressing.
No, Your Highness, we need to get you ready for the hearing.
Hearing, yeah, right, hearing, okay. Hi, who are you? Hi?
Hello, we're just here to help you get ready, don't mind us. Before you even realize it, your nightgown has come off, another robe has gone on over it, and you were not even in your underwear for like 10 seconds. It was very quick.
What the fuck?
Could Wynn wander in at this point with, like, a giant cup of coffee?
Yes.
Or whatever they have for coffee at this point?
Yeah, Wynn, one gave Jill coffee, and I imagine Wynn is also... Oh my god, did she go down to the kitchen?
Yeah, she absolutely went down to the kitchen.
Cool. So I can imagine it with, like, a huge mug of coffee, and, like, a small bread roll hanging out of her mouth or something.
The mug definitely says, yes, I need this much coffee.
Absolutely.
Wait.
That's how you
I
know
have a perfect thing. It's marketing, folks. It's a mug that says coffee and spells don't prepare themselves. Buy it in the store. We have it. Buy it.
You do.
Buy it on our TeePublic.
Yes. What is it? Is it at the Jemjammer?
I don't know. It's on our fucking website.
Crooked Russian Camp.
Crooked Russian Camp.
It's on our website. Click on a link.
Okay, so when you basically come in and you see a bunch of maidservants all helping Jill get dressed, and she's barely conscious, and they're kind of just spinning her around, and one's started doing up her hair nicely.
When prestidigitates Jill's coffee a little cooler and says, drink that, Jill.
Thanks. I didn't even get a wrap. My hair's bad.
Well, Jill, you kind of whirl your head back, and you realize that the weight is distributed differently. And you see a handmaiden there, and she's holding a wand in her hand. Some kind of spellcasting wand. And she says, sorry, ma'am, hold still just a little longer. I'm getting your hair all cleaned up.
Hold, what? Hold. She has, like, pushed a mug into someone else's hands and is now feeling around on her hair. What the fuck?
My lady, please stay calm. This is just a hairdressing wand.
You did not get my permission to do that.
The handmaiden looks at the others in terror, and the tallest one steps forward and says, my lady, typically when we dress a noble, we do their hair as well. This is normal. We're not used to having to ask for permission, but I'm deeply sorry. And she actually gets down on her knees and touches her forehead to the floor and says, if you wish to punish us, please punish me.
What the fuck? Holy, okay. Holy shit, what the fuck? No, get up. What? No. What? No.
The servant confusedly gets to her feet.
I'm not gonna punish. Why would I? No, I would just be mad. I wouldn't punish. No, just, it's really, this is my hair. It took me a really long time to grow. I haven't had it out of locks in, like, really long time.
You feel one tap on the back of your head, and suddenly your hair feels amazing. Like someone's just given you a scalp massage.
Huh?
And then shampooed and conditioned your hair, and your hair just suddenly feels incredible.
What the fuck?
And then there is a second tap. There's like a whirl of something, and your hair is back in locks.
What just happened?
Wynn takes a loud slurp of her coffee.
And when what you saw was the handmaiden with this so-called hairdressing wand tapping Jill's head and whispering a few things under her breath. Apparently, this is just something they can do.
Jill is patting her head again, looks at Wynn like, does it look normal now?
Wynn nuts.
What the fuck?
The maidservant thrusts it into your hand and says, my lady, this is yours to keep.
This.
Yes, it can style your hair, clean your hair, and make it grow longer. Or shorter, if you wish.
You guys don't have artificers that can make transit go faster, but you have hair wands?
I mean, to be fair, we have hot yoga but no printing press.
You know what? That's a fair point.
The maids say, "I'm very sorry, my lady," as they keep dressing you. And Jill, you realise...
I don't know why that tickled me so much.
So you guys had never seen a book before you left Eastheim?
Well, no, we just don't have printing presses.
Yeah, they were handwritten.
Oh my god.
They were like transcribed, hand bound.
And extremely expensive.
You must have taken to romance novels, like mass-produced romance novels. Like, you took so well to those.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. We were craving them. We could only get handwritten fanfic before.
It's true.
Mm. So, Jill, while this has been happening, servants have been moving around you and kind of turning you around a little way, this and that, and you haven't really noticed. They've been dressing you in robes this whole time. And one of them even taps your face with a wand, and you reach up your hand reflexively to stop it, and they very gently catch your hand and says, "My lady, I'm sorry, please don't touch your makeup, it needs to dry."
Makeup? You have a makeup wand?
The servant looks around nervously and says, "Yes, my lady? It's faster this way."
That's bananas.
"Yes, I'm sorry, do you want us to remove it? Do you want
No.
to go in barefaced?"
No, makeup is fine. Why does everybody keep apologizing? Why does everybody keep apologizing?
Because you're a princess, and they're used to nobility wanting to murder them, so they apologize first and not get murdered.
That's weird.
Nobles are weird, dear.
Before you realize it, you're fully dressed. They've also used the makeup wand on your fingernails and toenails, which are now neatly clipped and just the right length you want them. Like a length that is comfortable for you. They're painted a nice plain red. You're dressed in red robes. A silver sash is tied around your waist. And a cute little pin is put through it, made of gold. It's basically, you're not like dressed up really fancily, but you are like presentable. You would look like someone who could show up at a royal court and not get kicked out for being a vagrant. And all this happens in the span of about 15 minutes while you chip away at your coffee.
Wow. Just holy shit. Thank you?
The tallest servant bows low, and all the 5 other servants bow as well behind her.
Oh.
And says, "It's our pleasure, my lady," and they back out of the room. Oh, and as they leave, the tallest one says, "Someone will be along shortly to bring you something to eat."
Okay. What's happening, Wynn? This is weird.
They're getting you ready for the council.
This is all super weird. I hate this, but also I kind of don't. She's like looking at her nails.
I mean, to be fair, it is like our makeover days, just
Yeah, but like
fancier.
hyper professional. Like,
Yeah,
look at my nail beds. Holy crap.
those look gorgeous.
Those are really good.
Artie struts in. They made me smell like lemons. I smell delicious.
Have you licked yourself yet?
And look at what they did to my hair.
Who did?
I was through this like 3 hours ago.
That's fair. Okay. Oh, I have to be presentable, don't I?
Yes, you do.
As you say that, the door opens again, and it's Sybil, and she's carrying a tray, and she says, "That is indeed the purpose of the cleanup,
Sybil, friendly face.
my lady."
The cleanup was weird. Hi, how are you?
Sybil curtsies politely and says, "I'm well. I have brought you some breakfast."
Hell yes, thank you.
I did tell them that you prefer fish, so instead they just made it vegetarian. I hope that's okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm pescatarian. Vegetarian food's fine. I just don't eat, like, red meat and stuff.
Well, it's some kind of vegetable soup, but there's a sprig of some herb on top of it to make it that quote-unquote tiny bit fancier, and a warm, freshly baked buttered bread roll beside it.
Oh, heck yes. What is it with you guys and soup for breakfast?
And Sybil says, "It's fast and it's good for you?"
Yeah, but I mean, the most that I've had that is not stew-based in the last couple of days has been porridge, and that's kind of a stew?
It's considered a fast food, so
Okay, we have to introduce you guys to like bread stuffed with things.
Sybil says, "Oh, don't you worry, I'm familiar, but you please, yes, introduce the kitchens." As you eat, she says, "There were these dumplings I had in Realm Space one time. My goodness, those were magnificent.
Oh yeah, what was in them?
I have no idea. Some kind of shellfish, I think?
Ooh, yeah. We have some of those with like shrimp. Like I've had
Oof.
some that have like shrimp and like zucchini in them, like a nice like green vegetable. It's so good.
Don't make me miss food.
That sounds incredible, Jill. I mean, Your Highness.
Well, no. No take backsies. You said Jill.
Sybil ducks her head and says, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to call you that.
Please. Everybody has been apologizing to me all day. Somebody thought I wanted to punish them for like touching my hair and like, okay, in some situations, sure, but they put their foreheads on the floor. I hate that. Please just call me Jill. Like, I mean, if you can't stomach it in public, then like private, like please, can we just be friends?
Sybil glances nervously at Wynne. What does Wynne do when Sybil, like, kind of half anxiously makes eye contact with her?
She like looks to Sybil. She kind of gives a comforting nod and glances to Jill, and says, "I think at least today they'll probably want to be on their best behavior, just in case people are listening."
Okay, I'm really wigged out about this.
Makes sense.
Sybil actually comes over, and I think if Jill's sitting on the bed to eat, or on like
Yes.
a small, maybe at a small table
Mm-hmm.
or something, Sybil will kind of come and sit next to Jill and say in a very, very low voice, I'll do what I can, Jilliana.
Jill grins. Thanks, Sybil.
And she gets up and moves away and says, well, once your highness is done eating, come out, I'll be waiting for you, and we will go to the High Council building. It's very close by.
Okay. She'll just sort of scarf down the rest of it. How are you guys?
I'm fine.
Good.
Cool. I'm terrified. Let's go.
All right.
Fantastic.
So, you step out, and there's Sybil and a small entourage of guards. Sybil kind of moves with you as kind of, like, as a party member for this. The guards are in front and behind. And she, as you go through the castle, she points out some landmarks, and they're not, like, super important. They're not, like, anything you really take on board. It's just, like, little things. And eventually you move through these wooden halls to the ground floor. And it's just a very short carriage ride to the High Council. It's only about a mile. The council building is kind of a dome. If you guys have ever seen an observatory in real life, it's like that, but several times bigger. It's a big dome. It seems to be made of marble, and it's got lots of gold filigree and trim on it. It seems very nicely made. And a lot of people are milling around the front entrance.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Act normal.
Sybil says, try looking at the tops of people's heads or not at all.
Right. Oh, but everybody's head is so much taller than mine. I'm gonna have to crane my head at a 45-degree angle to look at the tops of their heads.
She looks around to make sure that no one else can hear her, leans right in and says, then instead look at their titties.
Artie's just like, that's pretty much what I do.
Wynn points to Sybil and kind of gun fingers it. And Wynn is going to kind of like flank with Jill and look as professional as possible.
Okay. Head, shoulders back. Okay, yes.
You dismount from the carriage and all heads turn to look at you. And Jilliana, I like the idea of making a wisdom save to see how well she holds it together. How do you feel about
Ooh,
that?
I like that. Yeah. Let's roll this shit.
For her courage to hold up.
Wisdom save? A 16.
Okay, well the DC was a 15.
Oof.
So you just made it. You can feel their gazes on you, and it takes all your strength to not quaver. Somehow you manage to let your feelings pass over you and just focus solely on your actions. You keep your eyes level and straight ahead.
I will let the anxiety pass over me and through me.
Yes. and you stride on up to the steps of the High Council. A guard there bows deeply to you and beckons you in. But then off to a side door, you are led into what is some kind of antechamber or waiting room?
Yeah, like an antechamber, like a green room, essentially.
Basically. And it's made of stone, there's high windows, and it's very hot outside, but mercifully a cool breeze is flowing through this building. There's a number of people waiting here, sitting on stone benches. Some people in less fine-looking clothing get up when they see you and move to a different corner of the room, freeing up a bench. They are whispering to each other as they do that.
Cool.
Sybil, without hesitation, leads you to the bench and sits you down.
Okay. That was so many people staring at me. Okay. More inside or less? Are there more inside? Less? More?
And Sybil says, "We can only find out."
Oh, is there an audience in there, or is it just like a council?
There will be nobles, an audience.
Oh, I wish that wasn't what you had just said. Okay.
So there are two doors to this green room, so to speak. There's the side door you came in through, and then there's a larger main door. And in through the main door comes Max with his cane. And he's like, "Oh, thank goodness you're all here. We got about 15 minutes."
How is he dressed at this point, actually?
He's dressed in some kind of naval uniform. He's got brush pauldrons.
Huh, okay.
He is in full parade uniform, basically.
Hi. Good morning.
Max says, "Good morning, dearest wife. I'm glad you could make it."
Of course, husband. Cool. Can't wait for this.
I've just spoken. You'll be up next, and then apparently they will convene and work it out.
Oh, one at a time, one-on-one? Okay.
Yep.
What? And she kind of lowers her voice, like, what do I need? What did you say? What do I need to?
He says, "Just answer truthfully. It'll be fine."
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yep. Fine. Yeah. Cool. I'm great. I'm fine. I'm doing great. This is totally normal and everything's fine.
He's so unhelpful. I'm sorry. He's so useless. Actually, Jill, are you trying to get out things like matching story and such like?
That was what she was alluding to, but she really can't be very specific right now.
Yeah, let me see if he's got the intelligence to figure out what it is.
He's supposed to be smart.
He is. Unfortunately, not today. He has not figured it out today.
What did he fucking roll?
That was a 3 on the die.
God damn it, dirtbag.
So Wynn is here acting as handmaiden. And Wynn knows Jill, and Wynn can go, "Max." Or she has a message. What she does instead is she points at Max, and then just mouths, and he hears in his ear, "She wants to get your story straight."
Max clearly has had message used on him before, and says, "Oh."
God.
He sits down beside Jill. There's a bit of a groan as he strains on his cane. And he says, I just told the truth. I said we met." He's whispering, but I have to speak a little louder so the mic picks it up. "We met in Providence Bay. We connected immediately." Which is, I thought it was true. We have liked each other for several months, but separated before our official union. Things like that.
Wait, so when did you actually say we got married?
Like, legally? Like, just recently.
What? And wait, how? You said... Didn't you have to tell them that you actually had, like, a spouse?
I said we were de facto married, or like, we were trying to get married, but then we
What does
couldn't.
de facto married mean here?
He shrugs and says, "I don't know." His
Okay.
whispering is starting to get loud, so he lowers his voice again and says, "Look, I just told them that we were a thing, and we couldn't get married in the name of the gods, so we got married not and ran away, and then we came apart, and I don't know.
Wait, we could give it. I'm a cleric. Ceremony's like a really easy spell.
Max ducks his head and says, I don't know what I was supposed to, and then is cut off as the door opens and a guard says, would Her Royal Highness come with me, please?
Absolutely. And she growls under her breath and like glares at Max as she goes by. Thanks a lot.
Actually, he would have only said Her Highness. Max is royal. She is only Highness.
Yeah.
You are led out through a few marble hallways into a greater area. Now, this is a large stone building with stands all around full of benches. What I call a stand, you might call a bleacher. The walls look like they started as plain stone, but they've been carved with these ornate designs depicting what looks like scenery, ranging from...
it's like an indoor amphitheater?
It's like an indoor amphitheater, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, and they've been painted with colors that were, beautiful once, but have since worn down. All around you, nobles with silver sashes sit on seats, surrounding you in the center. Gosh, that's a sentence you should say 10 times quickly. The air in the stone building is hot and humid, and front and center, on a raised platform, are two people. One is Princess Antonia. She nods her head to you politely as you walk in, but doesn't say anything.
Oh, that means the one next to her must be...
There is a woman there.
Yep.
She's sitting there. She has grey hair. It's cut short, almost to the scalp. She has dark skin. One eye glows with a magical light. And her right hand appears to be made of smooth marble, but it moves like an organic hand.
The hell?
She wears plain red robes with a silver tabard that's embroidered with a stylized falcon in fine red thread. Structurally, it looks similar to the garments worn by the priests at the hospital, and she wears a plain red sash around her waist.
Oh, I guess not then.
Oh, you thought it was the Queen Mother.
Yeah.
She sits down on the podium at a plain wooden desk on a plain wooden chair. There is a book, an inkwell, and a quill upon it. And Juliana, in the center of the room, you're standing on a small raised dais. There are two guards flanking either side of you. She addresses you and says, Your Highness, I am Dux Felicity Virus. While I am a humble servant of the Ruby Court, today I am here in my capacity as High Judge to represent the eye of the Wind Reaper, soaring high on the winds of the Crystal King. Therefore, at this time, you may address me as Dux Virus or Seer. Do you understand?
Yes, Dux Virus. And I think Jill's going to take in a breath and sort of like spread her legs out a little bit and fold her arms behind her and essentially go to like parade rest.
Yeah, Virus says, Today we shall determine the validity of the claims, His Royal Highness Maximilian Regulus Lucius Volcarin.
No, swap those, reverse it.
Oh, Lucius Regulus Volcarin. Excuse me. You're the expert. There is suddenly, from the ceiling, a light that shines onto your platform. You sense holy magic as the light bathes over you. It's that old faint sense of bleach and incense. And your skin shimmers with a pale yellow light. And she says, Your Highness, in my capacity as High Judge, I will ask you some questions today. Will you answer them truthfully?
To the best of my ability.
What is your name?
Juliana.
What is your full name?
Wait. Yeah, I think she asked that, and then Jill, her brow furrows. She says, Juliana, and then catches herself, Volcarin. Juliana Volcarin.
The Dux writes something down in her book. And she says, Where were you born?
I was born on Easheim in Storm Space. How specific are you needing me to be?
That's good enough. She writes something down. What are your parents' names?
Louisa and Wolt.
Every time you answer a question from now on, just assume that Dux Virus nods and grimaces a little and writes something down. She's got a very stern face.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "What is your occupation?"
I am a cleric of Ethla.
And is Ethla the only god you primarily honor?
She pauses, considers that, and then, yes, Ethla is the only goddess that I honor.
How long have you been a nun?
As I said before, I am a cleric, not a nun. I am a priestess. They are, and she says through gritted teeth, different vows.
A small little a susurration of talking goes on around you, but no one looks like they've got no one actually speaks up or anything. And Virus nods. How long have you been a cleric?
Since I was about 16 years old.
Are you married?
I am.
Who is your spouse?
His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Maximilian Lucius Regulus Volcarin of the Vidoni Commonwealth.
In whose name were you married?
We were married under a ceremony spell, under the gaze of Ethla, my goddess, the Crystal King, and with the Wind Reaper acting as witness.
How long ago was this spell cast?
Fairly recently.
Is it true that you two were romantically entangled for several months, but separated before your official union?
Jill purses her lips. Yes, that is accurate.
When did you two first become interested in each other then?
Over half a year ago, we met in Tide Space.
And why did you separate?
Well, to my knowledge, the prince heard rumors of trouble in the Commonwealth and needed to return to check on the welfare of his family, and her eyes flick over to Antonia.
Antonia meets your eyes, but keeps a careful mask of expressionlessness on her face. Virus nods, and she seems a little surprised by something. Why did you come back together?
Because he called and I answered.
And why did you answer his call?
Because he asked. I'm afraid I don't understand the question, Dux.
Virus says, "That's quite all right." She goes silent and she starts writing down a lot of things. And then she looks over at someone in the audience. And you see there are a few boxes around the outside, and they appear to have people dressed a little better than anyone else in them. You didn't look too closely because the light shining on you was pretty bright. But the one closest to Virus, over to the side, is the one she glances at. And you see there is another woman sitting there, a Vidoni woman with long blonde hair and a circlet on her forehead.
Okay.
And she is the best dressed there. And this person nods at Virus, and Virus nods back. And Virus looks down at you and says, "Thank you, Princess Juliana. You may go back to the waiting room."
Thank you for your time. And she will bow. And also probably bow over, bow to the princess and bow to the woman in the circlet.
Good guess. So, you turn back and head back to the green room, and as soon as you get there, Max is right beside you, and he's helping you into the room. He says, "How did it go? Are you okay?"
Apparently, I guess, I don't know. Every time I said something, she made a face as though I had given the wrong answer, and I have no idea, because some of them were just where am I from? Also, your mom's there, I think?
Yeah, she always does that. She asked a few truth-testing questions just to make sure the spell's working. If you had lied, that light would have turned red.
Okay. Again, you did not warn me your mom was going to be there.
He says, "She was?"
Long blonde hair, circlet, really, really, really nicely dressed.
Yes.
She's in there. She's in that room.
Oh,
The ducks made eye contact with her, and they seemed to exchange knowing glances. I don't know what those glances mean.
I'm sorry I didn't notice.
How do you...
I've been in here too many times. It all kind of blurs together for me.
Did she come to visit you at all, by the way, while you were in the hospital?
No. No, she didn't.
Juliana's brow furrows.
About an hour passes in this tiny little room. Servants come and bring refreshments. There's some water, there's some wine, there's a little bit of food.
Jill's going to be pacing the entire time. It is going to get really annoying.
One of the servants, if you like, offers to take you outside. There's a small outdoor area where you can go if you want.
No, what if I miss something?
You won't.
No, I have
You'll
to
be
say
cold.
no. What if I miss something? I can't. I mean, the minute I leave, they might need me and then call me back, and then I nope, I can't. Nope.
Max says, "No, it's fine. Go on, get some fresh air. It's fine."
It is really not fine. Why would this be fine? Nothing about this is fine.
He says, "All right. Well, then I'm staying with you."
Sure, fine. Why am I getting why did I just get graded on my life?
Max shrugs. Okay, Win and Artie, how do you handle the hour of just waiting there while not knowing anything that's going on?
Wynn pulls out some cards and asks Artie if he wants to play.
Oh yeah, I was also literally about to say, you want to play some cards?
Then make me some contested intelligence checks. If you have proficiency in card games, add them to it.
I do.
I do!
Somewhere.
Holy shit, both of you do?
Yeah!
I got a 15.
I failed that one. I crit failed that one.
Finally!
I got a 1. Artie is gonna fucking sweep me.
Tyros, you flog Win at this card game.
I really thought you'd be better at this.
That's because my mind's not in it. I'm trying to not panic for Jill, you know?
So after the hour passes, an attendant enters and nods to you two, Max and Jill, and she says, "It's time."
Oh, so we do this part together. Okay, sure.
The light is still on the low square platform, and the servant gestures for you to come with. The guards are also flanking. And Dux Virus stands, and she speaks. "This is my judgment. His Royal Highness, Prince Maximilian, has claimed the right of succession through regicide. He has successfully proved, in the eyes of the Wind Reaper and the Ruby Court, to be a valiant claimant for succession to the throne in this way. All charges of regicide, patricide, and treason are dropped effective immediately. Your Highness, scholars and historians will speak with you soon to continue the process of ascension to the throne. May the gods who test your worthiness be satisfied with your claim. Additionally, it is my great honor to announce that the city of Volcaris recognizes Her Highness, the Princess Consort Juliana Volcarin, as the legitimate spouse to His Royal Highness Prince Maximilian. The city welcomes you, Your Highness, and extends to you all the privileges and responsibilities of Verdoni citizenship. I'm sure the details will be fully imparted to you upon the coronation of His Highness as Emperor of the Verdoni Commonwealth." She bows very deeply. Her face almost touches her desk, and she says, "I dismiss you all. Blessings of the Ruby Court upon you." And the holy light around you fades away.
Juliana is stock still for a moment, and then... Wait, we did it?
We did it. You're a princess now. Jemjammer is performed by Annie Creighton, Anna Emmeline, Rio Rios, and Mackenzie Weaver, and is edited by Jake Mason. Our cover art is by Canary Witch, who can be found at canarywitch.carrd.co, and our character design is by Rio Rios, who can be found at rios.com. Our opening and closing music is by Saad Akhtar Ali. For bonus content, such as Juliana's private diary, behind-the-scenes homebrew stuff, and other features from our other shows, I Will Fight You and Date Me Damn It, our Patreon has it all from only $1 a month at patreon.com/thejemjam. Thank you so very much for listening. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time. Okay, I'm now recording. Hello again, Jake. This is part 2.
I'm now recording. Hi,
I'm
Jake.
now recording. Hi, Jake.
Okay, I'm recording now. Hi, Jake.